Live. Yes.
Ah,
Live. Good afternoon, and welcome to Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters. It is December 4th, 2021, and just look how quickly the year went by. It went by in the blink of an eye, but I am thankful that we are still here in the land of the living, that we are amongst each
hallelujah.
other, that we can fellowship, that we can share love, that we can share our stories, our experience, and in the process, prayerfully help someone who might be facing similar situation, who might have been through
Yeah.
a trauma and have never dealt with it, who might be going through it right now and think that they're on this journey alone, that they have absolutely no one else in their corner. And the reason why I can be so bold in thinking and declaring that somebody is out there dealing with it is because I've been through it. I've been through it.
Oh,
I'm going through it. Not because I am your forgiveness coach, don't mean that I don't have issues, things I am still dealing with. It is a life journey. It's a process, but we are
that's true.
all here for each other. This
Man,
afternoon, as usual, I'm here with my amazing co-host Janelle V, coming in live from Miami. Don't ask me why she's there without me, but
Living La Vida Loca, honey. Living La Vida Loca.
And our special guest this afternoon is Pastor Keith Warner, and he's joining us from the beautiful island of St. Kitts. Now, as usual, I don't like to talk about people. I like them to get on the stage, tell us about themselves because I don't want to fall short. I wanted them to have all the acclimates that there is. So we're gonna go ahead and have our guests go first. Mr. Warner, go ahead and tell our audience what you do and how excited you are to be here. I'm telling them that you're excited. I'm not asking you. I'm telling them
I
that you
am
are.
excited. I am
So go
excited
ahead and
because I am
introduce yourself.
between two beautiful ladies. So I am glad to be here today. I am Pastor Keith Warner, and I am also a counselor, which I also do counseling for government. And I normally do that for the STEP office, which is the STEP program, so, but I resigned about a couple months ago because I just felt like God wanted me to move out and to resign and to do what He wanted me to do. So, as my
Amen.
daddy, I will have to obey, because it's better to obey than to sacrifice. So, I did
Yes.
that. And I'm telling you, it's amazing because it's a long time I wanted also to do something on Facebook, and look how God just opened the door for me to be here to share my experience, not just to be on a live show with people, but to share my experience about life journey to let people know you're not in the boat by yourself. So no need to think that you're by yourself. There is someone who went through worse than what you have been through. And therefore, we are here to give a helping hand to pull you out of the pit and let you know we're here to assist and also to help. So
Amen. Love
that's
it.
it.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah,
Welcome. And
it's
Welcome.
good to
December
be here.
come up enough. Thank you so much. Janelle,
Yes,
go right
I
ahead.
am Janelle. And yes, Alicia, I am in Miami and I have no idea what Living La Vida Loca is. It's a song. But yeah, I'm here in Miami. I'm here in Miami supporting one of my other sisters for her Women's Empowerment Conference tonight. So I'm excited to be joining you. Thank God we have technology. No matter where you are in the world, we can get connected to you. And I am thrilled to be here. Thank you, Alicia, for giving me this platform. And Pastor Keith, I can't wait to talk to you. I mean, you're inspiring me already. I know
Okay.
this is going to be an amazing show. Alicia has come up with a fantastic caught in a live topic, honey. And if I were you and I was watching on live on Facebook, I would go ahead and tag someone and let them know that today's show is not a show that you need to miss. I believe that there will be so many relevant things spoken and said today that is really going to change someone's life, someone that's in the balance in between here and there, just ready to give up. And that's what the journey with the Chit Chat sisters and brothers, that's what it is. That's what it's all about.
Ah,
We are transparent. We are walking in our truth, walking in our purpose. And like Alicia said, yeah, we got our own stuff we deal with. You know, we go through just like anyone else. But as a life fulfillment coach, when I teach people how to find their purpose, and once you grab a hold of that, once you get a revelation of whose you are first, and then he tells you who
mm,
you are and gives you your identity, then you can stand up and
right.
walk bold and not let anything that anyone else say shape or form or mold you, because you
Amen.
know exactly who you are. And so
Come
today I'm
on now.
excited about this show, Alicia.
Yes.
Woo!
Thank you so much, Janelle. I see the excitement on everybody's face. I don't know what's going on. I am Alicia Alexander, host of Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters. I am your forgiveness coach. And you want a forgiveness coach? Listen, guys, there are a lot of times that we are not reaching or as successful or as happy as we are. And we tend to think that is the world when we just have to take that moment and look at us and realize that some small factor can make a huge difference. And for me, that was forgiveness. I had to go through a
Yes.
journey in order to get to this point. And it's an exhilarating experience when you can forgive, let go, and move on. And I'll teach you exactly, I'll take you on that journey. It might not be for everybody, but it's a start. It is not something
Yep.
that happens overnight, but it's a start. And just like, you look at a bird and a bird gets on the top of a tree and just flies off and look completely free. Like there's no care in the world, there's nothing holding up, but he's just gliding along. That's what forgiveness be like. I'm your forgiveness coach. We are here this afternoon with Chit Chat on the Journey Sisters. And the topic this afternoon is caught in a lie. Now, Wes said the word lie, and that run chills through my body
Hmm.
because as a child, we were not allowed, and from the Caribbean and the islands, we couldn't use the word lie. Using just
No.
those three-letter word was a blasphemy. Your mother or your grandmother hear you say lie. What? What did you just say? And the hand came from out of
Pa-
nowhere.
pa-
We had to say a fib. We had to say somebody just told a story. And as a matter of fact,
Untruth.
to avoid untruth, and as a matter of fact, to avoid the whole thing, just do what you do and take your beating. So the word lie was not allowed, but the word lie was all around us. It was camouflage in what we call cover up.
Yep.
Same way we couldn't use the word openly. We could not speak about certain things openly. It was covered up.
Right.
And what maybe they did realize it, maybe they didn't. What our parents didn't realize is that the danger that that cover up was causing, the danger that the cover up would have, the effect it would have on our lives later on, not just our lives, but the people we come in touch with, our journey. Because one day we would be adults ourselves like we are today, and we would have children, and we would have to tell them, do we keep it a lie or do we tell them the truth so that they don't deal the same things that we dealt with? That they have a different life experience, that they can minister to somebody, that they can make a change. Because a change starts with one person. So, caught in a lie, you wonder why people lie. Do they lie because it's the easiest thing to do, to have their way? Or do they lie because they don't want to deal with a situation? It's easier for me to just tell a story and just keep it going. I'm a victim of that. I was a victim of that. Let me change my language. I was a victim of that.
Okay. Okay.
And I was caught in a lie on two occasions. And the devastation that that lie caused me, it might not appear. If you look at me closely, you might not see any scars. I don't know if you do, but the scars that I bear are inward, they're internal. And a lot of times people think if you don't have these scars, you're not hurting. There's, she all right. She will have a broken arm, a broken leg. She not
Mm-hmm.
bleeding. Her
True.
head not
Mm-hmm.
bandaged. She all right. But these scars are internal. And these scars are caused by the lies that have been under the carpet, behind the door, in grandma's pocketbook, even sealed away in the Bible. Because when I say
Mm.
sealed away, you'll write a note, put it in there, keep it shut. Don't go to page 25. And that's something that has resonated in my spirit for years, that I had to finally fess up that I was a compulsive liar.
Ooh.
Compulsive, and to tell yourself that you're a compulsive liar. And I don't want nobody to get this wrong, that I was lying to people and telling them. I was a compulsive liar to myself. I was caught in a lie as a child because I was told that certain things that were being done to me, certain acts that were being performed, was to make me better, was to
Mm.
help me grow, would. And then that lie became a twist where the things that are happening to you made you ugly, made you unwanted.
Mm.
And for years, I believed it. I lived it. I lived two lives. One where I showed the world that, hey, I can handle anything. But then it's also like that I told myself that I was healed. So for 40 plus years, maybe less than, yeah, about 40
Wow.
plus years, I have been caught in a lie. And until I finally got to the point and told myself that, Alicia, you're caught in a lie, I could not move past myself.
I like
You
that,
know,
Alicia.
as I mentioned before,
Yeah.
in worlds I am successful. I have a home, I have a family, I have
Mm.
a job, I'm smiling, I'm doing whatever. But in my eyes, it, you know, I'm not happy. I wasn't happy. I wasn't living the life I wanted to. I wasn't living the life that I internally felt that I should be living, that I know I'm capable of. And I had to finally say it openly. Alicia, you are a compulsive liar.
Mm.
And when I heard the words, it made a difference.
Mm.
And digging deeper, I had to ask myself, what made you a compulsive liar?
Liar.
And I realized I was caught in a lie that made me a liar. And I can't go any further until I get over those lies.
That's true.
Jane,
That's true.
JNL.
You know, Alicia, I don't want you to feel any type of way. I mean, I believe that we've all lied to ourselves about something.
Mm.
And whether you lie to say you really truly love yourself, you love the person that you're with, you love the person that you've become, we've all lied to ourselves. I've been a victim of that as well. And the thing about the lie, and if you don't, just in case you just, came on this planet and you have no idea what a lie is. A lie is a deliberate act to conceal the truth. So there cannot be
Yep.
a lie if there isn't a truth. So what we do is, because of the things that happened to us, the things that we've experienced, what we've gone through, it has shaped us to believe that this is what it is and why it is.
Mm.
It's that lie. And we know that
It's a
the
lie.
devil, the enemy, is the father of all lies. And his job is to kill, steal, and destroy. So if he can find a way to come in, and a lie is the easiest thing to destroy anything. I believe a lot of relationships were destroyed because of lies. A lot of homes
Yep.
were broken because of lies. I mean, a lie is a serious deadly weapon. That three-letter word. So can you imagine how detrimental it is when we tell it to ourselves? It's one thing for you to lie to me, but when I lie to myself and I tell
Mm-hmm.
myself, yeah, I'm happy, I'm doing what I want to do, and really and truly, when you know that's not the truth. And this show today, we're going to have this opportunity to have this candid discussion with Pastor Keith. We want to know, how has a lie, or how is this topic right now that we're talking about, how has it impacted your life from childhood? I mean, how did it change your life? How did you get to where you are right now, Pastor Keith?
And I'm saying, I really have to say it is the grace of God. Even
Mm-hmm.
when I was not looking for him, he was looking for me. And it is so amazing you talk about caught in a lie, because go back again to when I grew up, your parents or the elders will tell you whatever is done in the house, stay in the house. So you cannot go out and say anything. So even when somebody have done something to you, even if they ask, you will have to say when you're outside, no, that never happened before. But deep within, it happens, and maybe it is still happening. I would
Mm.
even like to just share a story with you. When I was about 12 years or 12 or 13 years, as a young child going to school and going to high school, I would have gone to work with someone who had a shop, and working there, my boss, very nice, okay, but he introduced me to this gentleman who would have been his friend. So I am saying, because my boss is good, this gentleman have a good heart too. So one day I was going home, so I said, let me just go by the gentleman to see about his store. For he too also had a store. And I love short pants. So while I got into the store and everything, he said, try this one. And nobody else was there. And he came and he brought the pants up to me and literally started to just fill me up. And I was like, what is this? This in my mind, like, what is really going on? Why this person is doing this to me? And I'm praying in my mind, God, please let somebody come in the store that I can get out. And literally someone came and I ran out, but I could not tell the person that I was living with, because I myself was shocked that the person did that to me. So I lived with that for years, because you cannot tell people that this person do you that, because the person could also tell a lie, as we are speaking about, and say that didn't happen. So the only person at that time I could have spoken to is my boss. And I am being very serious, and he's making joke and saying, you could have asked him for money. You could have told him this. And couple years after, I found out that the same gentleman was married and he had HIV. So I was like, why would this person do that to me? And I remember one day coming down and he was telling me to help him to take some pills that he was taking. And let me tell you, I was very furious. I wanted to literally kill him, because I could not understand why somebody will do a child that. So I lived for that for years. And what happened to me also, to person just keep on calling me gay. For what reason? They would have just seen me, they don't know me. So I live with stigma mostly all of my life coming up. And even right now as an adult, the first thing that people see, even if I am in church, because they say the church heals, but there are times that we lie even in the very church that we say we love, but we do not really love, because if we do not really go through what persons have gone through, we kind of push them aside and we feel like that is not true because how that person could went through and smile in the same way and
Mm-hmm.
looking and laughing. But as Alicia said, your scars are not outside, your scars are inside. And I also thought about suicide.
Mm.
But because I know what suicide will do, when you take your life, you will literally go to hell. I could not do that. So I had to learn to deal with it until I was able to just come out and tell my aunt about it. And that was when I was already an adult. So even when somebody came to sit with me and they came close to me, I felt like that person was coming to do the same thing that the person did to me. So I didn't want to be close to person. So I can say I understand when you say caught in a lie, because sometimes we have to live life, and some of the time person even take their lie to their graves. But I thank God today that He have already liberated me, so I was able to literally forgive the person in order to move on. So it is good to be here.
Mm.
Wow. Wow. That's Pastor Keith. I mean, just looking at you, I would not be able to tell that you've actually been through all of that. Um,
Yep.
being robbed at such a young age. And this is what I want to talk a little bit about the misconception of the church. You know, we believe, and we know that the church is supposed to be that spiritual hospital, that place that you can go, when you're really dealing with something. But growing up in the judgmental zone and different churches and stuff, I never really felt free to say what I was dealing with or what I was going through. Um, and it was not easy. It wasn't a place that I would say go to, to tell
Mm.
people what I've really been through. I remember in the islands, one of the churches, I was really giving a testimony. I really didn't have anything to eat. And I remember praying and saying, God, you know, I need you to send us some food. And my ex-husband at the time was working on another island, and it was just me and the kids. And I was like really hungry. And I remember someone coming and saying, hey, it's Sunday, I cooked this extra food and I want you to have it. So I remember Pastor Keith going to church just excited about talking about it. And
Mhm.
after church, of course, I got all these looks and all these stares. And and this person came up to me and was like, certain things you really shouldn't just talk about. I mean, what are people going to think about your in-laws? And I'm like, nobody was thinking when I was hungry. You know what I'm saying? So you aren't really
Okay.
free to talk about, especially in the islands. You can't really just express how you really feel or what you're really going through because people judge you. So I can only imagine how
Yep.
you felt back then being judged. So how do you, now that you've been delivered and set free, like, how do you talk to someone? You're a counselor
Mm.
that went through the same thing you went through or going through that same thing. Like, how do you level up and really find that playing field where they can feel comfortable around you and comfortable to just say what they're dealing with?
Well, for me, when I'm doing counseling, I don't just do it because I want to do it. I do it because I will share my experience. So I will also give that person who is maybe afraid or timid to open up. So I will share. I will even share where I was struggling from masturbation and pornography. And as you said about church, I said it already in church. And by the time I was finished and church was finished, somebody came up and my pastor came up at that time and say, I would like to speak with you. Do you know that somebody said the way how you spoke, you should have never said it on pulpit? So I was like, so when is a good time to tell persons what you have been through? So I thought that what my struggles were, I was free in order to tell other person who are bound that I've been through it. I am walking through it. So if you think that you are alone, you are not. And so I will literally tell persons that, I've been through it. So it's okay. So I will walk them through some of the time. They will cry because, especially if somebody have been molested, they want to know how to deal with it. How would you tell your family? So
Mm,
some of the time I will tell them, okay, it is best for you to either have a meeting and then we can sit together with the family to let them know what you've been through before you just go to the persons and make nice. And then I also had somebody close to me who went through the same thing, and that happened in church. And when it happened in church to her, it was somebody who was also professing to be pastor who did it to her. And she was just the start. She didn't know what to do
mm,
because the person came to pray for her.
mm.
And when she looked, the person was literally touching her up all over and saying that they was doing deliverance. So she called me and she
Yeah.
let me know, she cannot deal with it. How do you deal with it? She cannot sleep. So I had to also tell her about my experience and walk her through and let her know what you need to do is to call the senior pastor, let them know that you need to have a meeting with them. Do not go there to judge the person who did it, but go there to forgive. So eventually she went and she's now back on the path of living a Christian life. Not that she backslide, but it was difficult for her to go to church and to open up. So now, because of that, she's open up again to really worship and to experience the way that God wants her to experience
Mm,
Him in that light.
And you see,
You
this
know,
is
so
why this platform is so necessary, and I absolutely love it. For Janelle and Pastor Warner, you were bold enough to speak about your situation or whatever you were dealing with in church. And then there are those who just internalize it. And they internalize it to the point that it becomes a mental issue. It becomes an emotional, a
mm,
physical issue that they either become abusive themselves, they abuse alcohol, they abuse themselves. I was the one who was bold enough to say, you know what, let me get on the platform and tell everybody what's going on. For me, it took a different path. But the being caught in it had such a profound effect on my life, but in such a way that it affected me when it came to relationship, and it might have affected me on appearance, because I consider myself a tomboy because I didn't want to wear dresses. I wanted to be with the boys. I wanted to do what the boys did, because if I did what they did, I would not be on the receiving end. You have ever known or you have never seen any of the programs or whatever the case is. I was sexually abused at age 11 as well. And it changed the trajectory of my life. Internally, I knew what I felt. I knew what my purpose was, but I could not verbalize it. I did not know what path I was on the path of the light I was told to do. And that was I would not be loved. I would be nobody. And that's what I believed for years. Yes, well, I saw something different. I felt different. I went to college and what's not. But the voices in my head told me that was the truth. And like Jane L said, the fact that it's a lie means that there's a truth somewhere. And that's somewhere where we have to get to. Pastor One, I appreciate you for sharing that story. You have no idea who it might have, what ears it might have fallen on. You have no idea, you know, who's dealing with something that's similar or who knows of somebody who's dealing with something that's similar. And even just Janelle's story, it might seem simple, but the fact that you get up in front of an audience and you tell them what you're dealing with, and you're still being put in a box or you're still being looked at, it caused you to even get to my other point where I caught myself in a lie. So now you're telling yourself, I'm bold enough to go out and say this because I need help. I put myself in a position. This is what was done to me. This is how they reacted. I might as well keep lying to myself because nobody cares. Nobody's gonna. And this is why we're here. We're here to let everybody. You're not alone. We our voice.
Well, I really could not keep it quiet anymore because I believe that if God deliver us from those things that we have been through, is not just for the church alone. It is also for other persons who are outside. Because there are persons who are outside who been through a lot of things and they are broken. Person just see them drinking and just think that they are alcoholic persons. Sometimes person smoke weed or cocaine and person just say, well, why he don't change his life, why she don't change her life. But she cannot change or he cannot change unless they deal with the situation. And a lot of us are not ready to deal with what happens to us when we were young because what? To us is like maybe deja vu or maybe it's a dream or they need to wake up because some people may think it's a dream. And
Mm-hmm.
so we have to walk them through that process. As you said, journey
Absolutely.
sisters, we have to walk them through whether it be a man or a woman or boy or girl, we have to walk them through. And we also have to make sure when we are doing that, we are not judging, but we are there to love them in spite of, because we all need love. We are human beings, and no matter what happens to us, we need that one who would assure us that it's going to be okay. I know you have been hurt. I know
Yeah.
that this person did that to you, but let me let you know I am here for you. And not just here in words speaking, but really to be there for the person to, when they are going back through the trauma, to let them know I have your back. Because sometimes person go back and because they have to deal with it over and over, because it's a process. Some person may say, I can't take it no more, and they commit suicide. So you have to really be there. And my thing is not to get people information to share it to other person, but to be there to listen. Because sometimes person just needs someone to listen, not to say you should do this or you should have done that, but just to listen. Because I even with me, I had to come out to my pastor and let him know what was done to me and at a young age. So when I got opportunity to speak, whether it was on platform, you discern the spirit that is there, whether they will want to hear or not. And after a while, I got bold. In spite that person may not want to hear, you got to let people hear because somewhere in the audience there is someone who is hurting and they need help, but they do not know how to cry out for help. So for me, I believe that when we are helping persons, and I really applaud both of you, and I will encourage you to continue to keep up this. People may not understand, and people may say, but they're sharing their business. Why are they doing this? You're helping someone to come out. And maybe somebody have been there for 20 years going through the same thing and they don't know
Hmm.
how to get out. It is by your voices that people will say enough is enough and I have to break
Enough is
forth.
enough.
I have to say something. So I am really glad that Alicia called me because persons need to hear, and sometimes we think it's just women that is going through abuse. It's also young boys and young men who is also going through those things. But if they tell anybody I have been molested and it's another man they're telling, that person may laugh, that person may say, oh, he gay. How could you let, but they do not understand that trauma that person have to go through just to say it or to hear it in their ear that another person did that to them. So I'm really glad that I'm here and continue to keep up the good work.
So, Pastor Keith, I
Um,
applaud you too. I applaud you too for being so open. I don't believe, especially back then, I don't think the church was equipped to help with real problems. The only thing, they just felt like you just pray about it and baby Jesus will fix it. Baby Jesus will fix it.
mm,
And they said that as a way to not really deal with it. But right now we are in a culture where people are looking for real people. That all that fake fluff
yep,
stuff is over. People don't want people want real people right now that have actually really been through a struggle. Because how can you tell
right,
me that I'm coming out of this if you've never experienced it yourself? And when we look at
right,
the life of Jesus and the life that Jesus lived, Jesus, when he went to the well and the woman was at the well, who had the multiple husbands, relationships,
yes, hmm, yeah,
Jesus didn't judge her.
hmm,
Jesus spoke truth to her. And she
hmm,
was just so amazed. And she was like, why are you even talking to me? Because people like you don't talk to people like
done,
me. But Jesus will break
mm,
every barrier and he will jump and bust out of every box to get that one person to
mm,
understand, for God so loved the world that he gave.
yes,
When the woman was caught in adultery, and we live in this society, especially growing up in the church, Pastor Keith. I mean, the
hmm,
only sin that ever existed was drinking, smoking, and adultery. Like anything else, you
yep,
could do whatever else you wanted to do, but those were the three major. Like this is it. When Jesus, when they brought the woman that was caught in adultery, which I believe was a setup, they was just
I
trying to
believe
really
so too.
see, yeah, how can we trap Jesus? How can we scandalize this woman's life? How can
Mm,
we destroy
mm,
her and humiliate her? When they
mm,
brought her there, let me show you how amazing Jesus was and is. He started to write in the dirt. And even scripture doesn't
hmm,
even say what he was writing. But I believe he was writing the
mm,
lives of those that were trying to accuse her. And when he was writing, he
hmm,
looked up and he said, let him without sin cast
mm,
the first stone. Because
right,
back then when you was caught in adultery, they were so religious back then. When you were caught in adultery, that your penalty was death. They stoned you. They
yes,
felt like they had the right to stone you because they were
mm,
better than you. So Jesus just
hmm,
bust the bubble and said, hey, look, let him that is without sin be the first person to
mm,
throw that stone. And he spoke with such
mm,
authority in his voice. And they looked at each other and they was like, yeah, we was with her yesterday. Now you was with
mm.
her last night too. It wasn't just me. So they had to drop
Okay,
the stone. The woman in
come
fear,
on.
crying and afraid. Jesus looked at her and said, where are your accusers? Where are the people that brought you before me, accusing you of such a
mm,
thing? What you may have done, yes, that may have been the truth. That may have been who you were. But now I have come that
mm,
you may have life and have it more abundantly. And this is what we're
mm,
trying to share with people who have been traumatized. A lot
mm,
of them have been hurt by the church. They say the church
mm.
hurt is the worst hurt that you could ever
I'm
experience.
telling you.
But what we don't want you to just look at the church because
Mm,
yes, they failed us. Yes, we've had this experience, but we want you to look at Jesus. We want you to look at your heavenly Father and look at what he did, the act that he sent his son on the cross just for you, just to redeem you back. Yeah, no matter what you've done, no matter what they say you were, I don't care if you were a prostitute for 20 years. For God so loved the world that he gave his son for you. So when that woman
mm,
shaking and looked up and said, I don't see him, Jesus said, well, neither do I. I don't condemn you.
mm,
Go
mm,
and sin no more. When we could get that
mm.
love in our heart for people, Pastor Keith, when we could
Yeah.
look at them and not judge them because they're full of tattoos and they don't look like us and they don't act like us and they don't listen to the same music that we listen to. When we could get beyond
Mm,
that and see the hurt that's in their eyes. Why are you selling your body, baby? Why are you on the streets? Why do
yeah.
you feel less than? Why don't you know that you're worthy? That you're worth it? Why you keep lowering yourself with these type of men that are only using you? Well, we can reach them in that way,
Mm,
Alicia, and we can really take them through the steps of forgiveness. First, forgiving yourself, and then forgiving the person that
yep.
wronged you. Then we saying something. Then we can talk to somebody about, what we've been through and all of this stuff. We could never do that being judgmental, turning up our nose,
Yeah.
looking
That's
down,
true.
like who do you think you are? You
Mm,
nasty. You just what are you even doing in here? God is love.
And and I'm happy that you use that the text where, or the analogy where the woman that was caught in adultery was brought, and he asked about his your accusers, and you also said that God died for you. You know, He died for you, meaning He died for
mm,
me. If you're looking at me as well and you're saying it, and it starts with you. Yes,
mm,
something was done. Yes, you were caught in a situation. And anybody can say what they want and see what they want and treat you however they wish to. But it starts with you to make that difference. It starts with
yep.
you acknowledging, being true. I can tell an alcoholic he's an alcoholic. I can take him to as many meetings as possible. I can buy the most expensive medication and have him locked away in a rehab center. But until he says, I'm an alcoholic,
Mm-hmm.
nothing will change.
Admit. That's right.
Nothing will change.
Yep. Yep.
Just like
Yep.
you
Yep.
can also have a
Yep.
home with a mother and a father, and you have two children in there, and the I'm gonna twist it around because it might happen, but you don't hear about it often. The mother was abusive to the father, right?
Mm,
And you have the two children, and one turned out to be abusive and one turned out not to. It's because of
mm,
what I saw, it's because of who I've become. And it's about you, it's about the decision that you make. And the decisions that you make start with you being intentional, start with you facing up to it, admitting to it. And I know for me, I had to admit, and a lot of times I put myself in there and I say me, but my me is for those who are not here representing themselves. I am you, you're
mm,
me, and I'm speaking for you. I'm your voice. I tell myself, you know what? I could keep lying and getting up and putting on the makeup and putting on the heels and dressing as cute and buying at Burlington. I'm sorry, Burlington. Buying, yes, I'm going to use Burlington. Buying a Burlington, I'm buying a Ross, and I'm not quite sure what the stores are back in the islands. And I could put on the $25 dress, right? And Janelle said, Elisa, that's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful dress. Where you got it from? Girl, I bought it so at Macy's and it was 55 or it was 80. And she admired it so much, you know. And I get down the road, I love your purse. Is that, is that a doodly? That's the name of a purse, right? I don't know these bags because I don't do. Is that a
Girl,
coach?
Donnie and Burke.
I
That's
know.
the
Coach,
Donnie
right?
and Burke.
Is that a coach? And you lie about it. And you put on this persona and you tell this story and everybody believe and admire you for, but when you get home and you not only just look at it and say, Dad, that dress was 25 and I told it was 55. Or I look at, the fact that my bank account is empty because I
Mm-hmm.
pretty up to create that lie. Who am I hurting more? I'm hurting me.
Your son.
So it starts with
Your
me
son.
making that change. And it doesn't have to be anything physical. It starts with me telling myself, this is what's taking place.
Mm-hmm.
This is what needs to be done. This is where I would like to be. This is where my gut feeling telling me I need to be. What am I doing to get there? I might not be able to drop all my old habits right away, but I can start with one. Let me remove
Yeah.
one layer
One
or
step.
one lie at a time. And eventually I get to the point where I'm liberated. I'm not caught in this lie. And if I can free myself from this lie and I can use my voice, I could free somebody else. Not, and
Yeah.
even if I don't even use my voice to free somebody else, the fact that I'm reflecting it, I might be a little happier. I might walk with a little extra pep in my step. And they're gonna look and say, what's going on here?
Mm.
What took place? Did something just happen? Did you just win the lotto? No, I'm freeing myself one layer at a time.
Yeah.
One layer at a time. Uh, I was just looking at some comments. Our audience are joining in and they are on board with exactly what we're saying. You know,
Yeah.
we do a lot of things to please the world. We look at social media,
Mm.
we look at the shows on television and tell us we have to be a figure one in order to be on TV, or we have to
Yes.
have money
To be
to
loved.
be able to get to this place, or we have to have money to live the life and be on the beach. And no, and when we sit
It's
down and we listen to them, we get caught up in that, and we keep getting caught up in these lies that we can't find a way out of. And at
Mm-hmm.
70, 80, 90, if you live to be 90, you're sitting down in your rocking chair, dentures falling out, and you swear your real teeth still in because you've lied to yourself so long. You've lied
until
to
you
yourself
even know the truth.
Yes.
that you know the truth. You know, you seriously, you there rocking, and no matter what, if you have your children or your grandchildren around, you still think that you can get up and walk 20 miles like you used to when you were
Yes.
20.
Yeah.
When you can't even make it off, you can't
Mm-hmm.
even make it up the stairs, 2 flights of stairs without breathing heavy. But because we have lied to ourselves so much, we're afraid to let
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And
Need to change it. Huh?
that's what that's why I'm so grateful for this platform, Alicia, because a lot of people there aren't a lot of places where people are really speaking their truth and are really letting you know that, hey, we're not judging you. This is a judge-free zone. We're telling you that we've had these experiences, we've lied to ourselves. Listen, people have lied to me. But what's going to let you or separate you or free you from this web of deception when you admit that, okay, this has happened to me. There's nothing you can do to change the past. It has happened.
Right.
You accept the fact that it happened. I don't like
Mm-hmm.
it, but it did. Now, how do I move on from here? How do I get healing? How do I participate in my own deliverance? How do I forgive myself, Alicia?
Hmm.
How do I, how just, and this show today, I mean, it's to think that someone have been through what you've been through, Pastor Keith, and you can still smile and say that God is good, and that He delivered you. And you can, boldly stand up anywhere and tell what God has done for you. There's no need for you to
Well,
be ashamed of what God has done.
You know
I
what?
have to be honest because the topic is caught in a lie, and I don't want anyone to go with the lie thinking that I was not okay with it. I used to hate God because I was like, how could you allow this to happen to me?
Right.
How could you allow this to happen to me? And I had to learn to go to God and let Him know, I ask you to forgive me of blaming you and take the healing, because He said to me, and it's very important, as you said, uh, when we come out of that, we must learn to forgive ourselves. Because although that happened, I was still hating myself and wondering why that happened to me. And God had to say to me, but Keith, I have already forgiven you. You are the one who have not forgiven yourself. And
Mm.
so I had to learn to forgive myself, not to blame myself, and to move on, and just not just move on right away, but to also get people in my life who will change my mindset to let me know, do not think about what society say, do not think about what you've been through, but to know God have a purpose. And really I could not understand what purpose God had in allowing this, but now I can say I truly know the purpose, because the purpose is also to literally break people free from what they are still holding on to, and let them know you can be free to laugh again. You can be free to be a child. You can be free in yourself to be whatever you choose to be. You do not have to be bound up, because a lot of people are not in prison physically, but spiritually, they are bound up because they have the lie inside of them still, holding on to a lie, saying, this really did not happen to me. This happened to someone else. But they could still see the scars coming from them. So I would not want anyone to go with the idea that it was fine with me. Yes, I was vexed with God, but He walked me through. He did not say, how could you just judge me? He walked me through the process to let me know, Keith, it was not me. This is not what I ordained for you to go through. But it's just because you have to go through it. I am there for you. And I always want people to be real. But I found out when I had to share my experience, person didn't want to speak to me because what?
Mm.
It was that I was being real. And that is what I want to do. Be real. A lot of us cannot be real because we have too much lies inside of us. And
Mm.
one is upon the other, because when you tell a lie, uh did you take out the sugar cake? No, mommy. But she's gonna ask you again, and you're gonna tell a lie upon that lie. So a lot of persons have a lot of things bottled up inside of them that they need to be free. So as I said again, I am really thankful for being here today, because somebody, and I believe that somebody, were waiting on us to be free.
I listened to you speak, and prior to even this live show, I had a conversation with Pastor Keith, and it was so in depth that I was in tears, because when you're going through something, and especially as a female, and you think that you're the only one dealing with it, somebody else might have gone through it too, but when you hear it from a male's perspective,
Right.
that he felt the same way based on what happened to him, that he dealt with the same trauma. He mentioned earlier that he didn't want anybody coming close to him. That was me. Because I felt when you come close, I was, you were there to hurt me again. So to
Hmm.
hear it from a male's perspective, it brought light to what I might have known, but I've never heard. And I just I brought men on the show to let all of us know, because I spoke to a young lady that said, why are you bringing men on the show? They don't have no feelings. They just because she was hurt herself.
Hmm.
But they're human too. Men have feelings too. Men hurt too, just like we do.
Yep.
They might not be as vocal as we are. They might take their anger out a different way, or they might be more prone to react in a certain, way versus how we do. But they hurt as well. They have been through situations. They don't need to be judged like how we don't want to be judged. They need help as much as we do. A lot of them don't have their voices because they're expected to have this persona. I am a man,
The lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
strong. I am bold. I have
Yep.
no
Can't
hurt. I am the
cry.
head.
Can't show
You
my
know,
Mm.
emotions.
I could
Mm.
carry anything on my shoulder. And with them trying to do all that, like Pastor just said, it's one lie to cover another, to cover another, to cover another. And when you start peeling away at these layers, what do you end up with? Just a child,
Vulnerability. Mm.
just your vulnerability back to childhood. Not
Yeah.
dealing with it, not fessing up to it has done more damage
Mm.
than we can even begin to talk about, that we can even begin to deal with. And even those who are successful, they probably, not that they don't deserve to be successful. I'm not knocking anybody, but the success was probably the drive not to deal with the problem that they're dealing with. Let me be successful here. I can do whatever I want, buy whatever I want, go wherever. And I don't have to deal with what took place back then. But their relationships might be broken. Not just fit, just not just husband and wife relationship, but the relationship on the job, even the relationship in which they deal with their employees might be broken because they have not dealt with it. And it's one you put on success on top of that, it's detrimental.
Right.
It is truly detrimental. Oh, Pastor Keith,
It's just so much. It's
Darren, I think it is.
Yeah.
This show is never
yeah.
long enough to deal with exactly what's taking place. We
Yeah.
cannot reach everybody. We're not the voice for everybody. We don't have everybody's opinion. It's your opinion versus mine. It's your experience
Yeah.
versus mine. It's your story versus my story. It's your feelings versus mine. But there is somebody out there who feels exactly the way Pastor Keith felt or is feeling. There's someone out there who's feeling the way I feel or how I felt and have dealt with their situation the same way we did in silence and have not taken the steps to say, you know what, a change start with us. And
Yeah.
we are not going to wait for them, for the change to start with them. We are going to be that change.
Mm.
Janelle, there's somebody out
Yeah.
there who's a pastor's child. And because they're a pastor child, when they get out and they get free, they do the things they weren't allowed to do back then, which is
Yeah.
Okay.
lie. Tell me about it. They live that lie. And when they get the opportunity to be
Yeah.
free, it's devastating.
The
Pregnant.
expectation.
Yeah, pregnant at 16, doing drugs, and you're like, that's a pastor child doing all that
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't dealt with. And
Yeah.
we, as teenagers, dealt with it. We knew how to. Our parents dealt
Yeah.
with it the best way they know how. We are in a, like you say, in an era where we have learned, we have grown. We can make a change. So why not make that change? And that's why we're here on Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters and Brothers to make that change, to be that voice,
Yeah.
to
And
make
just
So,
that
to
change.
share with, just to share, just to share that it is very important because a couple years ago there was a nurse, qualified nurse, high up nurse, and for some reason, when I went to the hospital, she said to me, "Come here." And that was before I went to study to be a pastor. And she said to me, "Come here, I just need to tell you something. I just feel like I need to talk to you because you seems like somebody I can talk to." And she said to me, when I was a child or younger, I did an abortion. And
mm,
she break down and she cried. And I just hold her and tell her, it's okay. I'm not here to judge you. It's already done. And I love you the same way. And me and her became good friends because she recognized I was genuine in my feeling. As I said again and before, we are not here to judge, we are here to help. We are here to bring you out, as normally the scripture would say, low the bar. If you are low down and you feel like nobody cares, there are three of us here or even more who cares about you and want you to be broken from what you are going through. And we are here to help, not just to give our story, but we are also looking for you to give your story to let others know who are bound down that they can be free.
amen.
Amen. We had Miss Christian and Miss Jarvis on the line who were just putting their comments in the chat. And even if it's just one person, it's one at a time. We used to say back home, one full basket. I don't know if they say that in St.
Yeah,
Kitts or
one.
Bahamas.
Yes, yes, yes.
One full basket.
Yes,
It
yes,
takes
yes.
one at a time in order to
Yes.
reach this vast world. No care what end of the world you're coming in from. It takes one of us at a time. It takes one voice. It takes one story. It takes one act of, I won't call it bravery, one act of stepping outside yourself and just being that
Courage.
transparent. It takes one
Yeah.
act of courage. It takes one act to say, you know what, I'm gonna put fear to the side. And I have a
Oh, yeah.
habit. Then I used to and I still do. I used to talk to my pain in order to heal. You know, you think I'm crazy
Hmm.
when I'm talking to my pain.
Yeah.
But what has also helped is for me to talk to my success. I'm gonna talk to my success. I'm gonna say, you can do this. You have this.
Yep.
And that's the only way, not the only way, but there is healing. There is a
It's a
There
bright
balm in
is.
story.
Gilead. There is
Eh?
a balm in
Yeah.
Gilead.
There's a bright story
Yes.
at the end.
Yes.
We,
Yes.
we didn't write our story. We just
Yes.
gotta live through the story. So we are unfortunately at the end of Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters caught in a lie. Mm. An hour goes by quickly
Mm.
when it's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Feel like
When it's sweet.
it feel like just 30 minutes have gone by.
That's
I
right.
know. I know.
Just having this conversation. Pastor Keith, it was indeed a pleasure having you here. I'm going to allow you to give your final words, any suggestion. You know, we said a whole lot today. We let them know that we are there for them. We let them know that, hey, we have been through it and we have been as transparent
Yes.
as possible. It's not long enough for us to go in depth as to exactly what took place. And hopefully one day we can get to the point where we can actually talk about even just one experience and let you know how devastating it was. But we'll get there one of these days.
Mm.
Let our audience know that even though we're going into 2022, the year is coming to an end, and it came to an end quickly.
It did.
That
Yeah.
it came quickly. It looked like we just did this last year. We just said Happy New Year. We just said Merry Christmas, and here we are again. If we're
Yeah.
going to 2022, there is still an opportunity. The fact that we woke up this morning, there's an opportunity. You go right ahead, Pastor Keith.
Yeah. Well, I just want to encourage again, and I believe that God have me on the earth still because He have purpose for me to fulfill. And I made a promise to Him already a couple of years ago. I said, God, if you bring me through a certain situation that I was going through, I will let people know exactly what happened to me. So I am here sharing, as I said, not because just want to share, but also to help someone to come out of what you are in. It may be you are still in prostitution. It could be
Mm.
whatever situation you are in, that we are here to help. We are not here to judge. We are here to help. And just in case you may want to talk with me or speak with me, you can speak to Alicia or Jonelle and let them know that you would like to just speak with me. I am free. I am open to any discussion. Whatever your information or whatever you share, I believe with us will keep with us because we are here to build people, not to break down, but to build. And I believe that we need to give these two young ladies a round of applause because let me tell you something. There is not a lot of people who will share what they went through. They will keep it to themselves. But these two young ladies determined, hey, I've been in a lie too long
That's right.
and I've been caught up. It's like caught up in heaven. So they've been caught up in a lie and they need to now stop, evaluate, and now to expose the lie that they've been holding. And also with me too. Because once ago you could not open up and dare and say, an elder person did you this, they will slap you and tell you, shut up. That is
Hmm.
not true. But I'm here to say to you today, you can be free because God have made the way to make you free. And even if you are the lady who was caught in adultery, as he
Mm.
said, the person who have no sin, because all of us have made some mistake, one or the other. So we are not supposed to judge anyone. I believe we have our old saying or old doing that when you point a finger, look again and see who much is pointing back at you. Right. So therefore, we have to really love, and I believe that all that persons are looking for is love, not just love alone, but true, genuine love, the
Oh,
agape
agape love.
kind of love.
Yes.
That is the
Mm-hmm.
agape kind of love that no matter what circumstance you are in, I will love you unconditionally. And the only how you can love someone unconditionally, if you have been touched by God, then you understand what it means to truly be broken and for somebody to love you in your mess. So then again, I really want to thank both of you for bringing me on. Let me tell you, I'm looking to live for 70 something years or 80 something years. And I will always remember this day that two beautiful ladies would have invited me to come on a live show and speak about my experience. And they did not judge me. They was excited to really see and hear what my experience was all about. So I really say I love both of you and continue to do the
Love you
excellent
too.
job that you're
Thank
doing.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pastor Keith. It was definitely a pleasure meeting you. And I know that Miss Alicia will have you back. We'll definitely have you back because we haven't even begun to tap into, just the whole, I like to go deep, Pastor Keith. I like to go all the way in
Yeah,
there.
no problem. No
So
problem.
I thank you so much. Thank you for just
Yeah,
accepting the invitation to come out. We don't have a lot of people that are willing to, speak their truth and really, really let people know what they've experienced. But you're not doing it just because you're feeling sorry for yourself, but you're doing it because you've been
nope,
redeemed by the blood
yep,
and you're walking in deliverance. So, I
yep.
mean, God, I can see the love of God in you and how He's transformed you. So, don't get discouraged telling your story. Every opportunity you
No, no.
get, tell your story. We were overcome by the words of our testimony, the blood of the Lamb. So keep telling your
Oh,
story.
yes.
Somebody needs to hear it. Somebody needs to be free. Well, you guys know where you can find me on FB or IG. I'm on Instagram as MISS_she inspired. That's MISS_she inspired on Instagram. And you can find me as Janelle Drayton on Facebook or She Inspired Network. So thank you, Alicia, for having me. Thank you so much, Pastor Keita. It was a pleasure today. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Same here.
Well, I
Same
don't know
here.
how to follow you guys. Thank you so much for being here, Pastor Keith. I thank you for accepting the invitation and for just being as transparent as possible with the little time that we have.
Mm.
This is a platform for everybody, the young and the
Yeah.
old, the indifferent. You call us beautiful young ladies, and we don't hear that often enough sometimes. And even just that word can break the barrier. Just
Yeah.
that beautiful is love. That
Hmm.
kindness is love. I
Yeah.
look forward again to having you on the program. Don't know what direction it's gonna go in, but we're working on it, and it's only gonna be bigger and better.
I
Janelle,
wish it was just tomorrow. I wish it could have been tomorrow.
you never know. You never know. And I heard the animals in the background, and I see all the bright sunshine, and I know you just down there in the islands, and it's a beauty. It's a beauty to have
Yes,
you
loving
here.
it.
It's a beauty that you're here with us. It's a beauty to have Janelle with us. Janelle, as usual, that's my. You put yourself on mute. She's on mute. That's my partner in true crime, in this true life saving ministry. That's
Yes. White collar.
we are on the journey. I am everyone. I am Alicia Alexander, your forgiveness coach. I have a story to tell. My story is, you might say it was devastating, but my story was necessary. My journey
Yes,
was necessary. My experience was necessary. And it might sound cruel, me saying this, but if it was to happen again, I probably wouldn't have it no other way. Because
Mhm.
who would I be without this story? Who would I be able to minister
Yes.
to? What would I tell them? I don't know.
Yes.
This is what I know. And
Yeah.
don't wish for this to happen to anybody, but it happens. It We can't avoid all of it. But if it did happen, you're not alone. If it did happen or it's happening, we are here. We are a voice. If it did happen and you're still keeping it quiet, speak to us and find a way to minister to somebody. Because again, it starts with one. And if that one is you or that one is us, let's get together and make that one big one.
Yeah.
It's a
Yep.
wide world, so I'm not taking anything from you. You're not taking anything from me. We can meet every corner, but the
right.
world is wrong, right? The world is wrong, right, Janelle? So
It
we're not gonna meet every
is.
corner. We can go in a circle and meet together at the opposite side, right?
Yes.
Yes,
We can touch every continent there is because there's somebody. So we are humans, and we all bleed and cry and need, like Pastor said, that love. But it starts with us owning up to what took place, all apologizing to ourselves for what took place or what's taking place, and avoiding excuses and just fessing up. And so long as we can heal, we can help heal anybody else.
Yes.
And we need to break that silence. We need to break that silence and stop being caught in a lie. Sometimes it's
More
uncontrollable
lies.
in more
More
Yes.
lies.
lies.
When the lies add up,
Lies.
you know you have an onion, and I know we're about to end. You have an onion, right? And you start peeling off each layer and you get into the surface. But as you're
Mm.
peeling off each layer, what does that do to your eyes? You start
It
crying,
hurts.
right?
Start to burn.
You
Yes,
start
burn.
But as you
Yes.
get to the end and you get to the point where you're free, it burned. The process is painful. The process is painful, but there's victory at the end of it all.
Yes.
And by the time you get to the middle, everything has come off for you. The layers have already peeled back, and you just feel so free.
Yeah.
You would have cried those tears,
Great.
and along that journey, they're happy tears, they're sad tears, they're tears. I don't want to do this no more. But at the end, and you look back, you're like, what was I crying for?
Okay.
What was I fretting for when I know
Yep.
I have a Savior? When his last words
Mm,
on the cross was, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Why did we deserve that?
mm.
And with that said, I am your forgiveness coach. You can find me on Facebook as She Forgave as Alicia Alexander. You can find me on Instagram as She Forgave One. And we look forward to 2022. We're going to make it bigger and better. We are going to wish you
Oh
guys
yeah.
a blessed holiday, a happy new year. And if for nothing else, be intentional about living on purpose. Be intentional about forgiveness. And like I did last year, I asked you to start the year with a word. Pick that word and use that word to carry you through the year. Be intentional, forgive, love,
Yeah.
share, be passionate, live on purpose. You guys have a happy
Yeah.
holiday and a happy new year. Bye. Here goes.
Bye.
Same to
See you
you.
guys
Bye.
next year. See you next year.
Thank you
Yes.
Bye.
so much. And we are ending.